If you're building a fashion brand from scratch and you have no idea what to do first, well, you come to the right place. We are working on building a tween swimwear brand using AI, and I'm on step number 7 of this process. So let's go. All right, so right now I'm inside of the Fashion Launch Mentor AI, and in step number 7, I'm going to be answering the prompts just like I've done. If you want to look at some of the past videos that I've done, you could see all steps 1 through 6. But now we're just building upon this tween swimmer brand that we are building. So it's talking about on step number 7, it's pricing structure, where I think a lot of brands miss the mark or they just don't know how exactly they should be pricing their products. So we're going to go through these. And what's great about this, it's also going to give me a backwards way to figure out where my cost should be. That's something a lot of different apps would have no idea. But guess what? You got your mentor here. I've programmed it inside so it could really help you fine tune when you go out for sourcing and getting pricing from factories where you need to land. Okay, so I'm going to start right now. I'm going to just do my little transcribe tool. Can also get this set up. And here we go. So the first question, what is your ideal price for your two-piece swimwear set? What would feel worth it, but still accessible? This is tricky because I am designing for tweens and moms, and I want it to be reasonable, but I also want it to be competitive. I would say I want to be I want to be under 100 for the set for sure. I probably want to be in that 89 range. 89 where it still feels prestigious. It's not cheap like Target because I don't want to have the brand associated necessarily on price. That's not my focus, but I know that quality materials and getting it, if it gets manufactured here in California, it's going to cost more and my margins are going to take a hit if I price too low. So under 100, that's reasonable, but I would say between $70 to $80 for a two-piece swimsuit. Something less than what like a teenager and more prestigious brand would be. And that's not fast fashion. Would you offer wholesale pricing to boutiques or stay direct to consumer? With this type of pricing structure where it's competitive to parents, depending on where I get it made, I'm going to stay right now direct to consumer. Will you consider early bird pricing or bundles for pre-sales or launch promotions? Yes, I definitely would consider early bird pricing. I want to be able to make the launch as enticing as I can. What kind of packaging or extra elements would you like to include? Yeah, custom hang tags. I definitely want custom, tissue paper, a fun type of unboxing experience. Maybe there's something unique there and mailers. So when the girls receive it in the mail, they're going to be so excited because they know exactly that this is coming. Do you want your brand to feel affordable everyday, premium, but attainable, luxury with exclusivity? I think I want it to feel exclusive, but attainable. I want there to be that mixture with a premium price that's not affordable. I don't think I'll be able to hit that with my margins depending on where we get this made, but I think this is where I'd want to land. Something that felt still quality, high end. However, it's not shocking. It's not a price shocker to parents. Okay, so right now I answered all the questions and what it's going to be doing for the Launch Mentor AI. It's now going to be giving me a suggested retail, a wholesale price for my products if I do wholesale, target production costs, profit margins, packaging notes, a pricing hook that you can use in marketing. And I will say, if you don't want to do wholesale, that is totally fine. However, you can build your pricing for maybe one day you do wholesale because let's say this tween swimwear brand takes off. Okay. Let's just say it just goes wild. Boutiques will start to reach out. They will. They're going to realize, oh my gosh, everyone's asking for your brand. So we want to carry it in the store. What's your wholesale price? If you're not set up for wholesaling, you might be missing opportunities. So it's going to be in the back of my mind that I want to have a structured price that I could wholesale, but I also don't want to be so, tight on my margin that it's not going to make sense. I'm going to lose money on a wholesale deal. So that's something that I definitely want to be able to have as an option. And let's see what the launch mentor said. So the retail price, it's telling me right now, it's giving me an idea between 78 to 89. And I feel pretty confident about that. That feels like a decent price. It's not such a sticker shock to parents. It is a premium suit. So I'm imagining this tween suit to be premium, but also affordable. But there's some exclusivity to it. When it is a little bit higher price, not everybody can buy it. So that's going to leverage a lot into the marketing of this. It feels premium and aspirational, yet still within reach for parents looking for quality and style. Wholesale, not at this stage. D2C focus to protect margins and control brand presentation. Taking a stance on that from the beginning is going to set you up for success, but knowing that you could leverage it later with more quantity with your production is also something that you should know. Starting out, you can change your pricing and your distribution at that point. Target production cost. To maintain healthy margins, aim for $18 to $25 all in per unit, fabric, trims, labor, packaging. And it gives you, this is the wholesale pricing formula that I like to go by when I work with clients. The guideline is the cost times 3 for wholesale, and then wholesale times 2 for my retail pricing. So example, it cost me $22 for the set. I'm going to wholesale it at 66, and then I'm going to retail it at 89. Now, it might cost me at the beginning a lot more than $22. If I make it here, it's going to cost me a lot more than that. But if I know that my target price is $89, once I start to build in some quantity production and I start to work with manufacturers that see that I'm leveraging, fabric, I'm leveraging labor, I'm able to cut my costs down in other areas, and we have a more of a bulk order, that cost could potentially go down. Or I might need to find another partner, maybe overseas, that could withstand a larger order and give me a reduced cost. So this right here feels good where I'm at. I definitely feel good. So I just found a discrepancy. So if you see something with the price, so retail, wholesale times 2. So for a retail price for the top and bottom, I want it to be all in at the top and bottom. The wholesale would have to be $42.50. So my cost goal would be around $14.17. Okay, so you always double check your work with these AIs, but you could just obviously do the math. You'll see it. Retail margin 85 minus 14. It gives me a retail margin of $70.80 per set. Now this is per set. I didn't give it that information exactly. So my set margin would be 83%, which is good. When the other price came out, I do agree that my retail needs to be all in it at 89, around $89, if that's possible. I don't know yet if that's feasible, and that's okay. If you don't know what your cost is going to be, which a lot of you don't, you're in the idea stage, that's okay. But if you can start to see, okay, well, would I pay that? Would I pay 89 for a 2-piece suit? Yes, I would. I would pay that. So for my daughter, if your cost is higher, $20 to $25, your margins sink, which is true, which is fine early on if you stay direct to consumer, but you'll need that margin cushion if you later explore wholesale and influencer gifting. And it's correct. My cost, it's a tight cost. $14 for 2 pieces is completely not feasible here, making it in California. Making it in Colombia, it might be an option. Bali, I think, will still be too high. China would probably be an option. Just kind of depends if your values align with making it in Brazil, Colombia, or here. Is this where you have to have your product made? Yes or no? It's totally up to you. But if we did have to manufacture this and make the pricing a little bit higher, we could still survive with the direct to consumer model if it costs $20 or $25 and I'm selling it for 85. So we would still have a reasonable amount of margin to work. And then our goal would be to always be able to get our margins down a little bit more. And that's just with leveraging your purchasing. So we're going to be getting into step number 8 of the Fashion Launch Mentor. And if you want to start a fashion brand from idea to scratch, head on over to fashionbizmentor.com. Go in and check out our fashion launch blueprint. This is the full blueprint. These are the 12 steps that the mentor is walking you through in order to have a feasible and confident filled launch plan for your fashion launch without making a sample, without even having a fashion brand name. You can start to get the ideas rolling and see if this is something that you're going to take to market. We'll see you in the next video.